Let me start off by saying thank you for your purchase of the East Coast Rescue Solutions multi-use window prop. My name is Rick Myers, the designer and fabricator of this prop, and in this video we're going to go over multi-functions of the prop itself, the assembly and the disassembly, and how we use it in its intended use. Alright, let's get started. Now for the cutting prop, two different uses of the cutting prop and maybe possibly more to come. This was just a regular 1/8" piece of steel that I've placed just for a demonstration and for a template. With your prop, you will get one template for the 3 doors. It's 17 1/4 by 17 1/4. I don't think you'd use 1/8" steel to duplicate the skin of a door when utilizing this framing square curve cut. So this is basically an intended use for a template, which will come with it as well. Now, once you've placed in this piece of steel, which just slides in a groove, you're going to tighten these down with the thumb screws to hold it in place. Make your cut. Now this is 16 inches of cuttable space. So if you have a 14" blade, or if you have a 12" metal or composite blade, there's plenty of room to cut without cutting the prop itself. Tighten our screws with our thumb screws. The metal is put into place. I've made my curve cut with my 14" diamond blade. Now, to simulate that's an actual door, I'm going to place my framing square in the hole and manipulate the lock itself. And I'll show you on the other side how that works as well. Alright, let's talk about the removal of the window prop itself. As you can see, we have 2 guides here of square tubing, and then a receiver in which the window prop and the cutting prop slide on it to hold it in place. So you just take the header off, which I've already done. It's held with set screws, 1/2" set screws. Just release it. This slides right up off the prop. Now we're going to use the cutting prop. So take the cutting prop, slide it in place. The header back on, tighten the screws, and we're ready for the next operation. Alright, the second use of our cutting prop is going to be for carriage bolts itself. You will receive in the package a template for cutting carriage bolts in the cutting area. Now the size of the hole that you're going to put in your actual metal that's going to slide into place is going to depend obviously on the size of the carriage bolt that you're using. In this case right now, in the holes that we've used and drilled is for the use of a 3/8 carriage bolt, which is probably going to be the most common carriage bolt that you're going to encounter out in the field. So just once the metal sheet has been put into place, then we're going to install our carriage bolts. And then just merely put the carriage bolt in place, put the washer on the back side, tighten the nut, and now you're ready for cutting. Obviously you can fill all these holes. This is the typical pattern that you're going to see when you encounter a carriage bolt that's probably going to be holding a security device such as a drop bar. So when you go to make your cuts, I've designed it where it's away from the prop enough to where you can make a good 45-degree cut and get beyond the actual carriage square part into the threaded portion of the bolt, which is where you want to go. It's where the least resistance is. Make the cut, and it's still going to be using the prop, and then have many carriage bolts, so that it enables you a lot of repetition when you're teaching. Another use of the multi-use window prop is going to be breaking of the glass, so that we can duplicate reaching in and manipulating the lock by hand if we break the glass. So it's used 1/4" Lexan glass that's designed for hitting without breaking for multiple use. You just simply hit it, reach in, manipulate the lock, and open. All right, now that we've broke out all three of the panes, let's talk about the replacement of each window pane. Each of the window pieces that are on the ends have a beveled corner just to go around that weld. We always want to start with each end and then replace the middle one on itself. As this, let me demonstrate. So this is the beveled end of the door. I'm going to start in the middle, flex it, put it inside the slot, slide it over. This is the other beveled side. Each corner's beveled will go on this corner. So I'll start in the middle, flex it, put it in its place, slide it over. Last but not least, it's going to be the centerpiece, which does not have any bevels on the corners. Slide it in place. And we're ready to go for the next set. All right, one of the uses of the multi-use window prop is forcing the window as it was a double hung window, and forcing the lock itself. Now, because of the curvature of the adze of a Probar Halligan, it's almost impossible to start off with the adze trying to get a bite. So what you would do in this case is get the forks, start them in, hit the forks in, lift up and get enough progress where you feel like you can capture your progress with possibly a wedge, a wooden wedge, aluminum wedge, or an axe. Then reposition your tool to the adze to where you can finish your force here this way and come down and force the window. That's the intended use of the forcible window prop. Not least, let's talk about the mobility of the prop itself. When we're going to move the prop, we want to make sure that all the 1/2-inch screws are tightened down. So as you can see, there's casters on the end of the prop. We're going to just pull back. Once it gets on its edge, the wheels will take place and allow you to move the prop around wherever you intend to move it. Hopefully this has been an informative video for the use of the multi-use window prop. Any further questions, please contact myself, Rick Myers, via email, rick.ecrs@gmail.com. Again, it's rick.ecrs@gmail.com. Any further questions about the function or about the fabrication of the prop, please don't hesitate to call. Thank you.